Sige, I think I can start. Kumukunti yung umattend eh, so hindi ko alam. Anyway, it's already 8:03. So this will be our last module for this semester, and after that we'll be starting to prepare for um, mga industry ano natin reports. And then this module is about solutions. Nakikita na ba yung sinishare? Ayan
Yes
man.
po. Yes, sir.
Okay. So as a background, ano ba ang solution? We've discussed this before. So syempre, anything na nakikita natin, uh, composed of matter yan. And if it can be separated physically, part siya ng mixture. Ibig sabihin ng mga physical processes, ito yung hindi natin kailangan dumaan ng mga chemical processes. So anything physical processes, pag masiseparate natin yung isang substance, it means that it's a mixture. Halimbawa ng mga physical separation processes, yan, filtration. Yan. Pag gusto mong magkape, brewed coffee, ayaw mo nang merong mga beets. Ayan. Filtration, decantation, distillation, evaporation, and etc. So, yan yung mga physical process. Kapag kaya nating i-separate yung substance na yon, mixture siya. Kapag hindi naman, pure substance siya. And, kunyari, water, is an example of a compound. Kahit anong gawin mong pag-filter dyan, pagsasala dyan, pag-evaporate mo dyan, water will be water. Wala na, yun eh. Pure substance, yung tinatawag natin. Or for example, gold. Anong gawin mong nation, filtration, decantation, screening, hindi mo na masasrate yan because those are pure substances. If hindi chemically decomposed, it is a compound. Ibig sabihin, may hiwalay mo pa siya into its individual atoms. Whereas in an element, hindi mo na siya pwede ma-chemically decompose. Yun na yun. Siya na yun eh. Atom na siya eh. Diba? Yung atoms hindi siya na-destroy. So hanggang dun lang yung element mo. If it cannot be decomposed, it's a pure substance, it's an element. Okay, clear guys, yung compound sa element. Hindi yun yung maging focus ng discussion natin kasi we will go here sa mixture. Mixture, if its composition is uniform, it's called a homogeneous mixture. Yung tinatawag nating solution. Pag sinabi nating uniform composition, hindi mo ma-identify which is which. Hindi mo ma-identify yung components ng solution. Halimbawa, lagi kong ina-example, air. Air is a solution, it's a homogeneous mixture. Hindi mo makikita yung mga parts ng solution, yung mga components ng solution, isa-isa. Hindi mo malalaman carbon dioxide nasaan dyan sa binubuga mong hangin. Yung kailangan ng oxygen, saka nitrogen. Diba? Hindi mo naman siya mapipinpoint eh. Ito dito sa tabi ko, oxygen lang yan. Hindi ganun ano. Pag nagtimpla ka nagmumog ka ng tubig na may asin, yan. Hindi mo man naman pwedeng sabihin na ay itong parte na to ay 75% water, 25% salt. Hindi ganun. So yun ang solution, it's a homogeneous mixture. Hindi natin ma-identify kasi very uniform yung composition. Whereas in heterogeneous mixtures, yan ma-identify natin. Yung 3-in-1, hindi naman siya homogeneous mixture eh. Although masyadong maliliit, pero makikita mo ano yung kape, ano yung gatas, ano yung asukal. Ganun din sa sand. Kahit malilit na butil yan, you'll be able to identify the components of the mixture. And the heterogeneous mixture is composed of colloids and suspensions. But we will not be tackling that in detail. So punta tayo sa homogeneous mixtures or solutions. So clear ba yung definition ng solution based on this diagram?
Yes po, sir.
Okay,
Opo.
sige. Ano lang to review lang to ng solution. Meron tayong tinatawag na solubility of solute. Pabasa ako nito, Jerry.
The solubility of a solute is the maximum amount that dissolves in a fixed quantity of a particular solvent at a specified temperature. Different solutes have different solubility in water. Recall, solubility rules in Module 4.
Okay. So yung module 4, hindi natin na diniscuss yan in detail. Pero alam natin na hindi lahat ng solute can be dissolved in a particular solvent. At yung solubility na yun or the amount of which your solute can be dissolved is one, dependent sa solvent. Pangalawa, dependent, anong temperature ba ang gusto nating ma-expose or ma-prepare yung solution. Unahin natin yung there is a difference or there are different solubility ng iba't ibang ionic compounds sa water. Let's say NaCl, yung table salt natin. Yung solubility niya napakataas. Yan. You will be able to dissolve 39.12 grams of NaCl in 100 water at ayan, in-specify 100 degrees Celsius. So, silver chloride naman, ang solubility niya ay napakababa. Halos wala nga eh. Halos wala kang ma-dissolve at 100 ml of water at 100 degrees Celsius. So, makikita ninyo, yung solubility is dependent one, ano ba yung solvent? Ano yung temperature? Ano yung amount ng solvent na pinagdi-dissolve? We expect a 200 ml of water at 100 degrees Celsius. Ang madi-dissolve mong NaCl will be 39.12 times 2. Kasi naging tumaas yung amount ng solvent mo eh. 'Di ba? Pag konti yung solvent mo, mas konti lang din yung madi-dissolve mo. Generally, kapag mataas ang temperature mo, mas marami ang madi-dissolve mo. So mamaya, malalaman natin yan. May diagram ata dito. Yan. Why is it that butter in oil, pag pinaghalo mo yung butter tsaka oil, madi-dissolve siya, di ba? Magiging solution yan. Pag nagluluto ka. Pero yung butter in water, hindi yan madi-dissolve. Yung alcohol in oil, hindi yan mangyayari. Kakaroon ka ng layer. Oil in water, hindi rin mangyayari. Pero when you dissolve alcohol in water, pwedeng mangyari yan. Magkakaroon niya ng solution. Hindi mo malalaman kung sino yung water at sino yung alcohol. In opposite, yung water in oil naman, makikita mo, di ba, naghihiwalay na sila. And that phenomenon is due to the intermolecular force of attraction. Ano tayong tinatawag na like dissolves like. If they have almost similar intermolecular force of attraction, more likely they will form a solution. Halimbawa, yung butter and oil Both have London forces. Hindi naman sila polar eh. Whereas water has H bond. Yung butter and oil, sila yung halos magkaparehas ng intermolecular force of attraction. And therefore, sila yung magdi-dissolve sa isa't isa. Alcohol and water naman have same H bond. Pero wala yung ganun yung oil. So, hindi siya magdi-dissolve sa isa't isa. So, this can be explained later. I think, ayan, hindi pala. So, this will be explained later in detail. But first, let us determine the different intermolecular force of attraction in solutions. So somehow, medyo familiar na tayo dito kasi individual substances, alam na natin kung ano yung intermolecular force. Ngayon, paghahaluin natin sila. For the first kind of IMFA, it's the ion dipole. So basically, it's a combination of an ionic compound dissolved in a polar compound. O yung mga may H bond. So ito ata na-explain ko na from last time. So we have, di ba pag nag-dissolve ka, let's say, ng NaCl, nag-dissolve ka sa tubig, it will form this one. Na plus, Cl minus. So yung Na mo will be attracted to slightly negative oxygen. Yan. So that forms the ion dipole force of attraction. Similarly, yung iyo mo namang hydrogen atom, sila naman yung magkakaroon ng attachment kay chloride. Ito, magkakaroon ulit siya ng attraction kay another H. Ito, magkakaroon din ng attraction with another Na plus, etc. etc. So that forms yung intermolecular force of attraction between an ionic compound dissolved in polar compound. So yan yung nangyayari kapag nag-dissolve ka ng ionic compounds in water. Ganyan siya. Question so far? May tanong ba? Hello? Kayo pa kayo?
Ano po, sir?
Sige. So another type of IMFA is yung dipole naman. So this one is you have a polar compound mixing with another polar compound. And a perfect example of this is the one with H bonding, like ethanol and water. Si ethanol, ito siya. Ito lang yung boundaries nung molecule ng ethanol. Ayan. Yan yung boundaries ng ethanol. Si water, ito. Ayan. Ito lang yan, yung boundary niyan. Tulad ng na-explain natin from last time, because of the unpaired electrons, your oxygen in your ethanol becomes slightly negative. Yung hydrogen mo naging slightly positive. Si water, si water molecule na nandun din sa solution, yung oxygen niya, tulad na na-explain natin, slightly negative. Si hydrogen, slightly positive. So what happens is there forms a hydrogen bond between the oxygen of your ethanol and the hydrogen of your water. Dahil yung isa ay slightly negative, yung isa slightly positive, nagkakaroon sila ng attraction sa isa't isa. Yun yung tinatawag natin na hydrogen bond. Similarly, yung hydrogen na to, ito naman yung nagkakaroon ng attraction doon sa oxygen ng water. H-bond din ito. Ito nagkakaroon ng attraction. Pwede sa isa pang oxygen, pero pwede rin sa water. Ito, magkakaroon siya ng attraction sa ethanol, oxygen. Pwedeng ganun na. So, ang nagiging magkapares, pwedeng yung oxygen, ito yung ethanol. Yung oxygen ng ethanol, pwede magkaroon ng H-bond with the hydrogen of water. Pwede rin sa hydrogen ng another ethanol molecule. Yung hydrogen ni ethanol, pwede siya magkaroon ng attraction sa oxygen ng water or sa oxygen ng another ethanol molecule. For water, ganun din. Yung oxygen ng water can have hydrogen bond with H ng ethanol molecule. Or yung hydrogen na to, dapat ito yung attached sa oxygen. Kasi itong mga hydrogen na to, hindi naman sila slightly positive eh. Hindi sila nagkakaroon ng slightly positive kasi hindi naman nila kadikit yung nitrogen, oxygen, or fluorine. So yung hydrogen nagkakaroon lang ng slightly positive kapag kadikit niya yung tatlong yun. Kapag hindi niya kadikit yung tatlong yun, wala. Neutral lang siya. Yan. Yung hydrogen niya can be attached to oxygen of ethanol or oxygen of another water molecule. So, ganun yung pwedeng mangyari dito sa hydrogen bonding between your ethanol and water. So, magkakaroon ka ng ganung web ng hydrogen bond if both substances have H bonding. Tanong?
Wala po.
Sige. So these two are more or less are less common types of IMFA. Excuse me. One is ion-induced dipole. So ion, from the word itself, is an ion. Yung induced dipole can only work doon sa mga substances with London forces or London dispersion forces. Yan. So, for non-polar substances. Exist lang ha. Okay. So for ion-induced dipole, yan, sabi natin, it's an ion and forming an infa with a nonpolar substance such as oxygen and O2 molecule. There are also instances na nagkakaroon ng attraction or infa between a dipole, which is a polar substance such as water, and induced dipole. So ito yung mga may London force, such as xenon, which is a neon, which is a noble gas. So these are less common types of infa naman. But this can happen. And syempre, sabi natin, dispersion forces. So this is attraction between nonpolar substances. Halimbawa, yung mga gasolina, ayan, maraming components yan. Can be octane, pa ba, methane, etc. etc. So maraming components. Comprised of many nonpolar substances. So yung mga may London forces natin, dispersion forces, ayan. Pwede magkaroon ka ng intermolecular force of attraction. Nabanggit natin kanina yung like dissolves like. So, ibig sabihin yan, can you read this one, Migs?
Like dissolves like also means that the forces created between solute and solvent must be comparable in strength to the forces destroyed within both the solute and the solvent.
Okay. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng like dissolves like, or yung mga substances form solution that have similar intermolecular force of attraction dahil dito. For example, water, meron siyang H bond. Si methanol, meron din siyang H bond. Yung mabubuo kasi nila na IMFA has comparable strength compared to the individual components. Halos same ng strength yung intermolecular force. Yan din yung dahilan kung bakit yung water, kapag minix mo yung with oil, di ba London force lang ang meron sa oil? Non-polar siya eh. Hindi comparable in strength yung London force saka H bond compared sa bakit pa ako makikipag-break sa kapwa ko molecule sa water? Eh, lakas na nga ng connection namin para lang makabuo ng IMFA with oil. Eh kami nga, solid na kami eh. Yun yung dahilan kung bakit hindi ka nakakabuo ng or hindi naging solution yung mga substances na may magkakaibang intermolecular force. At magkakaroon ka ng solution for those substances with similar intermolecular force. Because the forces created between the solute and the solvent have comparable in strength. Doon sa forces na pwedeng ma-destroy within both the solute or the solvent. Clear ba yun, guys? Naintindihan ba yun? Okay. So dapat halos parehas in strength yung magiging solution mo or mas malakas pa. Else hindi ka magkakaroon ng solute. Ay ng solution. So yung nangyayari sa oil and water, yan. Yung dito meron kang H bond, dito merong London force, hindi ka magkakaroon ng mas malakas na attraction dito sa gitna. Okay? Hindi ka magkakaroon yan. Kaya yung water will stay as is with its strong intermolecular force of attraction and leaving the oil as is din. Walang nangyari sa kanilang attraction. Dahil malakas yung intermolecular force of attraction ng water molecules. Paano natin madedemonstrate naman yung like dissolves like? So here, we have an alcohol group. Ayan. Or yung i-study natin yung alcohols. So sa alcohols, merong OH group tinatawag. And that OH group is polar. Tulad nito. Yan, OH group yan eh. O di ba yan yung polar na nabanggit natin. Ito, non-polar yan. Hindi siya nagiging slightly positive. Ito hindi naging slightly negative. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng non-polar. Yung polar, ganun. Naging slightly positive, naging slightly negative. Ayan. While the hydrocarbon group, ibig sabihin yung carbon attached with hydrogen or your hydrogen attached with carbon is non-polar. Okay. So yung polar na yan has H bond. And that non-polar group only has London force. So halimbawa, dito sa methane, sa ethane or ethanol, your CH3, CH2, yun yung non-polar, and the OH group is polar. Yung non-polar, sabi natin, ito yung may London force, and the non-polar has the polar has the H bond. Ayan. In shorter alcohol chains, yung OH group malaki. And the H bonding within solute and solvent is replaced by H bonding within the solute and the solvent. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Ibig sabihin, yung methanol at water are completely miscible. Ibig sabihin, they form a solution. Pag pinaghalo mo yung methanol at tubig, maghahalo sila ng maganda. Ano ibig sabihin ng in shorter alcohol chains, OH group is larger? Ayan. Kita ba yung model? Kunyari ito. Ayan yung mga shorter alcohol chains eh. Methanol, CH3OH. Ito yung CH3. Ito yung OH. Ayan. So mapapansin mo yung size ng OH group. Malaki naman talaga, halos kalahati eh. Kaya naman, yung H bond niya, malaki din ang contribution. Kapag halo mo siya sa water, ano ibig sabihin infinity? They will form a solution. Kapag hinalo mo siya sa hexane, ano ba yung hexane? C6H14. London force lang yan, non-polar. Hindi siya maghahalo. Solubility and hexane, ang baba, 1.2 lang. Kasi, mas nananaig yung H bond. Same goes with ethanol. Ayan yung OH. Ito yung non-polar, CH3, CH2. Pag hinalo mo siya with water, soluble. Ngayon, ano nag-iba? Pag hinalo mo siya sa hexane, naging soluble na rin siya. Because the contribution now of the non-polar region na may London force, pwede na rin siya makihalo with hexane which is non-polar. Yeah. For larger hydrocarbon chains, the H bond within water molecule cannot be replaced by the H bond of the OH group and water as the CH group is too large. Habang bumababa ka dyan, naging propanol na siya, lumaki yung hydrocarbon, mas malaki sa butanol, pentanol, hexanol, na halos hindi na makita yung OH group. Yan yung reason as you go the higher than the non-polar chain, mas nagiging non-soluble siya sa water. From infinity, naging 1.1, naging 0.3. Pagdating sa hexanol, halos hindi na siya soluble sa tubig. Pero, pagdating sa hexane, soluble siya. So, yan yung difference between, or yan yung difference ng higher or longer hydrocarbon chain for the alcohol groups. Mas nagiging siyang less soluble sa water while the solubility in hexane increases. Dahil sa lumiliit na H bond. Clear ba yun, guys? Clear ba?
Yes po.
Explanation. Sige. Okay. So next, ayan. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Ayan, sige. Explain na natin ito sa example. Which solvent will dissolve more of the given solute? Pipili tayo between solvent A and B. At sasabihin natin bakit mas soluble yung NaCl sa methanol or sa 1-propanol. Who wants to try? Saan ba mas soluble kaya ang NaCl? Sa methanol or sa 1-propanol? Tingin nyo. Hula. Hula. Who wants to try? Wala. Sige, magtatawag ako. Hans, tingin mo. Hello? Hans, what do you think? Solvent A or B? Si Bless.
Methanol, sir?
Ano? Methanol. Okay, tama. Methanol. Yan. Tama. Sige, bakit kaya? Alalahan natin yung ion dipole. So, itong mga ions na to, makipag-interact with, so yung Na, ito magiging slightly negative, slightly positive. So, yung Na mo, teka lang, slightly negative, slightly positive. Yung Na, na ion mo, sodium ion, this can form intermolecular force of attraction kay oxygen, ni methanol, or oxygen ay propanol. Propanol. Yan. Si Cl, pwede siya sa hydrogen dito or dito. So parehas merong ion dipole. Both of them. Kung ihalo mo si NaCl with methanol, pwede siyang mag-form ng ion dipole. Si 1-propanol naman, pwede din. Kasi meron din siyang H-bond propanol. Pero, si methanol, kung titingnan mo yung laki ng OH group niya, ayan, kukumpara mo sa OH group nitong propanol, parang na-explain natin kanina doon sa alcohols, yung 1-propanol, mas subject siya sa dispersion force or London force ng mas malaki. Kaya methanol, yung mas madaming madidissolve na NaCl. Yan. So yung ion dipole dito, mas mataas. So, ayan, higher extent of your ion dipole versus 1-propanol dahil sa meron siyang higher hydrocarbon chain. Yan. Okay? Questions regarding dito? Okay? Yan, next. Ethylene glycol. And saan siya mas madidissolve kaya? Sa tubig o sa hexane? Tingin nyo guys. Saan siya mas madidissolve? Para malaman natin yun, ano ba yung mga intermolecular force of attraction dito? Dito. Dito. Yun yung maging basihan mo eh. O, sa ethylene glycol, ano ang mga inpa dyan? Kung siya lang ang titingnan mo siya lang. O, lahat yan may London force. Sabi natin. Sa ethylene glycol, anong meron sa kanya? Maricel, you want to answer? Anyone? Anong meron pa sa kanya? Okay, H-bond. Tama. You can only have H-bond if your hydrogen is bonded with oxygen, nitrogen, or fluorine. Ayan, meron siya. So may H-bond yan. Si hexane, LF lang ba siya? Meron? Meron ba siyang H-bond? Wala. Okay. So yan lang.
Wala.
Si water, meron London force. Meron ba siyang H-bond?
Meron po.
O ngayon, kanino siya mas madidissolve? Kay hexane ba o kay water?
Ay water.
Water po.
Okay, kay water. Si ethylene glycol kasi meron siyang H-bond. Similar. With water. Yan. So ito, pwede siyang mag-dissolve, magkaroon ng intermolecular force of attraction dyan. Na si hexane, wala siyang ganong may offer. Wala siyang maibigay na ganon. Okay? Kuha ba guys? Yan. Next. Yan. Diethyl ether. Alamin ulit natin yung mga IMFA. O, lahat yan may mga London force. Si diethyl ether.
Hydrogen bond po.
Wala siyang hydrogen bond.
Ay, wala siya.
Kasing hydrogen mo, lahat bonded to carbon. Pero, itong oxygen na to, dipole yan. Diba? Pag meron kang unbonded pair, dipole yon. Yung H-bond kasi, special type lang yan. Unbonded pair din yan eh. So, polar substance yan. To polar din yan. Pero hindi siya pwedeng tawagin na H-bond. Kasi yung mga hydrogen mo is bonded with carbon. Pero pag may mga ganyan, dipole yan. Ito, H-bond. Yung H-bond is a type of dipole. Pero special type siya. Yung IMFA ng ethanol, tulad ng nabanggit natin kanina, meron din niyang H-bond, which is a special type of dipole. Ngayon, ang tanong, kanino siya mas madidissolve? Kay water or kay ethanol?
Ethanol po.
Ethanol. Tama. Bakit? Although this one is dipole, both water and ethanol merong ganun. So, pwede siyang ma-dissolve. Pwede silang magkaroon ng special or ng additional intermolecular force of attraction. Ang issue actually is the hydrocarbon chain ni diethyl ether, which is type of London force. Dipole, induced dipole or London force. Si water, wala siyang hydrocarbon chain, wala siyang CH na pwedeng may offer or meron si ethanol. So si ethanol, meron siyang hydrocarbon chain at may bond with the hydrocarbon chain of diethyl ether. Yan. Okay? Gets ba?
Opo.
Okay. Sige. Okay. So what happens in a solution? At dito na tayo mag-end before we proceed. Ayan, to next meeting na to. Ayan. So can you read this one? Elmer. Tapos Joshua. Axel Rose. Ayan. Sige. Solubility. Ano yung mga klase ng mga solution? Sige, Elmer, are you there? Hello? Wala ba si Elmer? Sige. Kung wala si Elmer, si Hubert.
Hello, sir.
Sige, go ahead.
Solubility as an equilibrium process. Saturated solution contains the maximum amount of dissolved solute at a given temperature in the presence of undissolved solute.
Joshua. Sige, next na. Next.
An unsaturated solution contains less than the maximum amount of solute that is capable of being dissolved.
Okay. Sige, Axel Rose.
A supersaturated solution contains more than the average solute that can be dissolved at a given temperature. The crystallization of the excess dissolved solvent can be started by inserting a tiny solute crystal called the seed crystal.
Okay. Sige. Ayan. So, May tatlong klase ng solution. First is the saturated solution. Ibig sabihin solution, siya yung solution na nagko-contain ng pinakamadaming amount of dissolved solute. Okay? Kapag nagdagdag ka pa, supposedly, sa saturated solution, kapag nagdagdag ka pa ng solute, hindi na siya madi-dissolve. Yun yung parang iced tea. For example, in 100 ml na tubig, kaya niya mag-dissolve ng isang kutsara ng iced tea. Pag nagdagdag ka ng isa pang kutsara, hindi na, yun lang may ipon sa sa ilalim ng baso. Ganun yung ibig sabihin ng saturated. Yung maximum amount of the dissolved solute. Walang maiiwan na particles sa ilalim. Ayan. In the presence of undissolved solute. So walang ganon. Hindi na tunaw. Okay? Next. Yung binasa naman ni Joshua kanina, an unsaturated solution naman, syempre, dahil nga yung saturated yung may maximum amount, ito, mas mababa pa doon sa maximum amount. Kunya, naglagay ka ng kalahating kutsara, yun, unsaturated solution yun. Supposedly, yung saturated solution contains the maximum amount of dissolved solute. Si supersaturated solution naman, mas mataas pa yung concentration niya than saturated solution. Although dito, dissolved pa rin. Kailan magkakaroon ng recrystallization? Babalik naman yan eh. Yung mga supposedly hindi dapat natunaw, babalik siya by just adding a small seed crystal. Ayan, kunyari ito. Supersaturated. For example, dapat 100 grams lang ang maximum dissolved solute, naging 150 grams. So, ibig sabihin, meron kang 50 grams na dapat undissolved, dapat magiging crystal. So, for you to go back to its saturated solution, ang gawin mo, just add a seed crystal and everything or the recrystallization of the excess dissolved solvent will start. So, yun yung tatlong kinds, saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated. To illustrate, halimbawa, ayan. At 25 degrees Celsius, unsaturated. Meron kang 5 grams na dissolved and 95 grams. Ito yung na sa ilalim. Still dissolving. Still dissolving. At 25, same pa rin yung temperature. At 25 degrees Celsius, saturated. Dynamic equilibrium. Yung solution mo now contains the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in the presence of undissolved solute. Same temperature. So yung ibang solute mo na-dissolve pa. Anong difference ng A at B? Ng C? Anong difference ng B at C? Ininit mo siya. Yan. Yung 25 degrees Celsius naging 50 degrees Celsius. Ang nangyari, na-dissolve lahat. Yung 9 grams na undissolved solute mo, na-dissolve na siya. Kasi ininit mo eh. Parang 'di ba pag nahihirapan ka magtunaw ng mga kung ano mang tinitimpla mo sa bahay, initin mo 'yan. Kunyari Milo, hindi mo naman pwedeng lagyan agad ng malamig, hindi siya matutunaw. Lagyan mo muna na mainit, ganun yung mangyayari sa kanya. Now, because of the increase in the temperature, your solution becomes again unsaturated. Bakit? 'Di ba as you increase the temperature, you also increase the solubility. Probably, at 50 degrees Celsius, possibly, baka 150 grams bago siya maging saturated. Gets ba guys yung explanation sa C? Ba? Antok na kayo? And then slowly cools. Yung 50 degrees Celsius mo, naging 25 degrees Celsius. And that's what you call a supersaturated solution. Bakit? Kanina kasi, alam na natin, if you compare D and B, alam na natin na 25 degrees Celsius, saturated siya kapag ang natunaw sa kanya 91 grams. Dito, ang natunaw 100 grams. Okay? Yung natunaw 100 grams, supersaturated siya. Dapat kasi ang natutunaw lang ay 91 eh. And a precipitate will form, babalik yung na-recrystallize mo na 9 grams, babalik siya sa saturated. So that pinakita lang ito para ma-explain natin ng mabuti ano yung unsaturated, supersaturated, and saturated solutions. Questions? Questions, guys? Wala? Ayan. So how does temperature how does the temperature affect the solubility? Ayan. Generally, as you increase the temperature, ayan, habang tumataas yung temperature, the solubility also increases. Ayan. Generally, halos lahat ng mga solute. Ayan. Habang tumataas yung temperature, tumataas din yung solubility. Mas marami yung kaya mong tunawin. Applies to all ng tinitimpla mo sa bahay. Kape, Milo, iced tea, etc. Pag ininit mo yan, definitely mas matutunaw yan. So, ganun din kasi ang trend sa general ionic compounds. May mga exemptions like this cesium sulfate. Habang tinataas mo yung temperature, bumababa yung solubility. At 0 degrees Celsius, halos 20 grams ang kayang ma-dissolve. At 100 degrees Celsius, parang 5 na lang. So, yun lang ine-explain ng graph na to. At 0 degrees Celsius, ang kayang ma-dissolve na sodium nitrate is at 72 grams per 100 grams of water. At 20 degrees Celsius, pwedeng tumaas na siya to 87 grams per 100 grams of water. So, ganun din sa iba. Malalaman mo naman kung ilan yung magiging soluble or solubility by checking the temperature on this graph. Okay. Clear ba guys? Yung explanation nitong graph na to?
Yes po.
Inaano ko lang. Nilinya mo lang. And that's it. Yeah. So for the next meeting on Friday, we'll be discussing gas solubility as well as ways of expressing concentration. Okay? May mga questions? So we will meet on Friday. Sige. Kung wala nang tanong, bye everyone. See you on Friday.